Good morning, vibrant living alchemists. Jean Catherine Carlson here. And I am pondering this morning. This is now the second full week we are entering in Stay in Place. I heard a great thing over the weekend about rather than thinking of it as social distancing, to think of it as physical distancing so that we get to stay socially connected, because we need that connection. And it's been a weekend for me of really experiencing the completely wide range of emotions, from the exhilaration to be here on this planet at such a auspicious, is that a word? Such an auspicious time where we are truly recognizing that we are co-creating the future as we go. And we know that let's imagine there's a fork in the road right here for all of us, all of we humans on this planet, the entire globe, and one is labeled FEAR and one is labeled LOVE. Both are four-letter words. And when we go down the fear path, that creates more separation. It creates more survival, and it creates more of the same. When we go down the love path, there is more unity, there is more acceptance of diversity, not just acceptance, but a celebration of diversity, knowing that in our diversity is where the richness of our living comes from. So we have this choice, and guess what? We have this choice every minute. And we're going to take the fear path sometimes because it is just, the fear is in the air. It's downright scary at times, because we pick it up in the air and we pick it up from within. If we didn't have any fear in us, we wouldn't even notice it out there. But we do, and we do. So what I'd like to look at this morning is that if we wake up every morning, actually, if we wake up every moment and say, to this moment, I am going to say yes to life with a capital L. And I wonder what that would look like in this moment. In this moment, I wonder what choosing love would look like. Love for myself, love for the world, maybe even love for the virus, gratitude to the virus for bringing us to our knees, bringing us to a place of halting the busyness. And what happens sometimes is when we then get quiet, there's a lot that we need to face. Yesterday I talked about the power of the imagination and how sometimes the imagination can take us into dark places. Imagination can be the best or the worst nation to be in, for sure. And I noticed that yesterday when I was on a walk, and I saw a call coming in from my landlady. It's like, another thing I said yesterday is that thoughts think us, we don't think our thoughts. And this thought just went through my mind about like, I wonder if she's going to kick me out. I wonder, and I thought of like 2 or 3 terrible things that she might be doing. When I finally did pick up the message, she was letting me know, asking me if I had heard the noise at 8 o'clock the previous nights. And I had. It was like a coyote pack howling. And I didn't know if it was a wild band of youngins out there that were carousing, disobeying the stay in place order, or what. And she told me that it's actually a howling that's going through town, a howling of gratitude for the first responders, for those who are supporting this, who are putting themselves on the front line, the front liners, the grocery stores, the fire department, the hospitals, those people who are who are on the front line. It was a howling of gratitude. So you see, what I could recognize in the moment is, wow, I didn't even know I created that fearful thought. It just came up. It's conditioning. We are invited into a time of continuing to to rewire this old survival instinct to see the other as dangerous. So I'd like to do just a little bit of tapping this morning on those times we get caught. Because here's the thing. We can't go to the really light place and be excited about co-creating the future and at the same time be connected to fear. Those two can't live together. We can do our best to shove the fear down. Some people are more successful than that at others. I, for one, have not been able to do that in my life, which is a good thing because it's part of my path to actually be invited to feel it and to move to feel it, to allow it, to not resist it, and then let it go. We can't erase fear. We can't get to a place where we will never, ever, ever feel fear again, because it is part of the way we survive. And when it's used as the factory settings, it's a good thing. So here we go. Let's do some tapping this morning on that time. So imagine over the last 48 hours and see if there's a time that you recall getting kind of trapped by fear, really feeling the fear in your body and seeing where you feel it. For me, I feel it in my head and in my chest. And just check into that and let's see if we can bring this fear, if you can feel it right now, and let's see if we can tap on it, be with it, let it speak, and then let it go. So that's what we want to do. We want to tap on it, we want to let it speak, and then let it go. So let's try that. On the beginning of the karate chop, and by the way, early in the morning I washed my hands, and I also have hand sanitizer. There are points on my face that I tap. If your hands are not clean, you do not feel confident in tapping on your face, that's fine. Take care of yourself, take full responsibility for your well-being. And if that's the case, then just tap on the collarbone, or tap here, or tap here. Tap in those places if you are concerned about tapping on your face. I will be leading you through the face points. All right, so tapping on the karate chop. Even though I really get caught by fear sometimes. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night and I don't know what to do. And I don't like the way it feels. And I want to love, honor, and accept all of myself anyway. And shake that out. When we shake out, it's kind of like shaking out excess energy. Imagine all that fear that we're tapping on just getting shaken out of your body. Shake it out, shake it out. Give it down to Mother Earth. She loves taking our negative emotions as compost. Here we go. Even though sometimes I still get caught by fear, and I don't know what to do about it. And it doesn't feel good. And I want to love, honor, and accept all of me anyway. And one more time. Even though there's this fear, lots of fear in the air. Sometimes fear in me too. And I want to love, honor, and accept all of me anyway. And shaking that out. So let's let fear have a voice. If you're here live, go ahead and type in what fear is telling you on the beginning of the eyebrows. This fear on the outside of my eyebrows tells me I'm not safe. Under the eyes tells me I won't be safe unless I feel afraid. Under the nose and on the chin, this fear tells me I'll be safe if I feel fear. On the collarbone, this fear tells me it's reasonable to be fearful right now. Everybody else is. And on the wrist, so the points we're going for are the outside points and right in the middle. I'm going to be tapping on both sides. All this fear. On the top of the head, and I feel it in my body. On the beginning of the eyebrows. So I'm pretty sure on the outside of the eyebrows that fear can't keep me physically safe. Under the eyes. Because it lowers my immune system. Under the nose and on the chin. Fear releases all this cortisol into my body. On the collarbone. And I don't think that's good for me. I wonder what fear would have to say. On the beginning of the eyebrows. Good morning, Maggie. These are scary times. On the outside of the eyebrows. I don't know what to do with myself. Under the eyes. I'm so confused and so afraid. Under the nose and on the chin. Afraid for myself and afraid for others. On the collarbone. Afraid of the unknown. What's going to happen to me? On the wrist. Will I get sick? Will I die? Will I be homeless because I have no money? On the top of the head. Will my family be sick? Will they die? Will they be homeless because they have no money? On the beginning of the eyebrows. These really are big things. On the outside of the eyebrows. I'm not afraid just because I'm a scaredy cat. Under the eyes. There's really stuff out there that we could be afraid of. And under the nose and on the chin. And now let's begin to listen to choice and compassion. On the collarbone. I have compassion for my fearful part. On the wrists. I can have compassion for the fearful parts that are alive and well on this planet right now. On the top of the head. I can have deep compassion for every one of us on this planet going through this. And on the beginning of the eyebrows. And with compassion on the outside of the eyebrows comes choice and possibility. Under the eyes, with compassion comes breath. Let's breathe in. With compassion under the nose and on the chin, with compassion comes the possibility on the collarbone of choosing love. On the wrist, of choosing connection, and on the top of the head of choosing love. Let's shake that out for a minute. I don't know, somewhere in that round I started feeling energy moving in my body. Not sure what you're feeling. Feel free to type it in if you like, or should it be some hearts if you're feeling that this is helping you feel a little bit lighter. So the whole thing with tapping is that we tap and listen to the voice that we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear about confusion. We don't want to hear our fear. We don't want to hear all of the cacophony in our heads. And that's exactly what we need to do so that we can get to compassion. So that's what we were about on that round. Now that we've allowed that to speak, and by the way, once and done isn't going to do it. You might find yourself today tapping on your collarbone and just saying, okay, what am I feeling? What am I hearing in my head? And just say it out loud or write it and tap it and see, then you can get to the place where feel it, begin to feel energy moving, and then you say, okay, I'm going to invite some compassion into this. I'm ready for some balm. I'm ready for some healing. I'm ready now. And if you set the container, now if you're caught in the middle of a huge trauma, beware that this, this is, are we not all in a huge trauma? What am I saying? What a huger than normal trauma. Just be aware of like what's possible for you. But I do know that when we sit, when we're willing to sit, it's like holding a child that's having a tantrum or have been crying for a long time. It's holding that part of us like a newborn baby child, as Karen Drucker says in her song, Be Gentle with Yourself. Hold that part of ourselves and be with that part of ourselves. And if we can sit there with it, sometimes it will shift. Oh, I see I am playing out the light and the shadow to a T today. I see I've got light on one side and shadow on the other. How funny is that? Okay, so let's do a round with compassion, and then we will let it go. We will breathe into stillness, and we will make our way today saying yes to life and tapping in and tuning in all day long. So here we go. Thank you for all those hearts. I'm so glad you're with me this morning. Here we go. On the karate chop. Even though it is true, I can get hijacked by fear. And there's a part of me that takes it and runs with it. And I want to find a way to love, honor, and accept all of me anyway. Even and especially that fearful part. Hang on just a second. I'm going to shift this light because it's a little too much. There we go. That'll be better. Oh yeah. There we go. Thank you for that. All right, so now that was on the just shake your hands out. Imagine all of that fear, anxiety, anger, isolation, frustration, disappointment. That's enough. Just imagine all of that liquefying in your body, and you're shaking it out of your fingertips. And maybe it's draining down your tailbone, down your cords. Maybe it's draining down the soles of your feet. Let it all drain out of your body. And now let's tap on compassion. On the beginning of the eyebrows, I'm ready to invite compassion in outside the eyebrows. I'm ready to invite nurturing into me. Under the eyes, I'm ready to allow compassion to lead the way. Under the nose and on the chin. Compassion for me and my scary parts. On the collarbone. Compassion for those working on the front line. On the wrist. Compassion for those who are sick, maybe dying. Compassion for the loved ones who are witnessing or knowing about their loved ones sick or dying. On the beginning of the eyebrows. Compassion for those who are single and going through this staying in place alone. On the outside of the eyebrows. Compassion for those who are with families and having to go it with other people in the house. compassion for this planet. Compassion for the coronavirus that showed up to shake us up. Compassion. Invite compassion in to every cell of my body. On the top of the head, I invite compassion in to talk to me all day long and to guide me on my way. Shake that out. And now let's do the extra magic sauce. Putting your left wrist into your right hand. Just wrapping your right fingers around your left wrist and squeezing gently and repeating after me. Let it go. Let it go. Let the fear go. Let the anger go. Let the confusion go. Let it all go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And may I choose love. May I choose compassion. And then breathing in, and on the out breath, say peace. Peace. Feel that. In this moment, in this place, we are peace. And even if it only lasts for a nanosecond, my friends, that nanosecond is greater and stronger than anything else we are experiencing it, even if it doesn't feel like it. And that nanosecond will of peace and love, pure peace and love, will spill out into the world, is doing so right now, and somehow making a difference. And that mystery we leave up to the divine. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back with you tomorrow at around 8:15, 8:20, something like that. And we will see what tomorrow brings. Today, choose compassion, choose peace, and tap to get there. Thank you so much. Bye for now.